Good morning. Welcome to week 2 of Enterprise Architecture Spring Quarter 2022. This is Professor B. Hope you're having a good start of your week, and let's get right into it. I think we're off to a good start from week 1. Both the synchronous or the asynchronous section and the hybrid section, we're off to good work. Thanks for those of you who trekked out to the face-to-face class in our hybrid section, and hopefully you made it through any snow on the way home. This week we will look at week 2. We had the lens pulled out a little bit to look at what enterprise architecture is, or in some cases should be. We also looked at, in Appendix A of Contusive, the history, where we came from. And so hopefully this will provide a little bit, this week will be a little bit overview, and then getting into the role analysis, and we'll have a short writing assignment. And remember, we're going to meet Mr. Rubric, your new best friend. So, a lot to do this week. Let's dive into it. You have in the notes a definition in the module, a definition of enterprise architecture provided by the Gartner organization. I'm going to ask you a question later. Will be an extra credit kind of audience participation, but I've provided one from the second chapter of Contusive, the first page, page 19. One is a discipline for proactively and holistically leading enterprise responses to disruptive forces by identifying and analyzing the execution of change toward desired business vision and outcomes. The other one talks about special documents called artifacts that describe aspects of an organization. I'm going to ask you which is clearer and more actionable and why, and we'll talk about that later on this term. So we're going to distinguish about some of the various, or between some of the various enterprise architectures and solutions and technology. You're going to look at early versions of frameworks, Zachman, FEA. TAFIM is the direct predecessor to TOGAF, history, purpose, and more than anything, you're going to focus in on TOGAF and the architectural development model. I should learn how to pronounce that, ADM, and we'll see how companies are using this. And then the first level down is the architecture vision, the business architecture, information systems, and technology. So that will be your introduction, and we'll be getting deeper and deeper. I don't want you to forget Contusive, because then we'll head back and we'll look at some of the results and comparisons. So enterprise architecture methodologies, like I said, you'll look at the history and the use. There's a number of videos here. Some of them can be too long, and take it from me, there's no need to memorize them. You just need to get a sense of where things have been and where they're going. If you read through Appendix A, you should have a good sense of the history here. So that's really important. I'll warn you, and this is probably a warning for the rest of the term. Folks who do EA, they love diagrams. It's like somebody gave them a copy of Visio and they have just fallen in love. It lends a sense of competency if you can draw a diagram. And that's not always the case. But a lot of EA diagrams, as we said last week, contain a majority of activities that need to take place that are aligned, if you're going to have IT aligned with a business. And as you probably can guess, an EA consultant, where most of these diagrams come from, would never use a diagram of a workflow process from another organization. That's why there's a desire for some standards, so you don't go from A to B to C to, and you get something in common. And TOGAF um, however poorly acronymed it is a way to try to find standards in this often confusing domain. So IT is drowning in confusion because you got all these different ways of doing basically some of the same things. And I showed you the image search of all the different frameworks, and you can look on that for Google if you don't if you don't trust me. So keep in mind our major perspective, and this is what we talked about last week. You have strategic actors and tactical actors. We understand that. We have business actors and IT actors. And here's Katusev's diagram. And no matter what framework you look at, it's important to say, okay, where's the business? Where's the IT? Where is the thinking at and strategy at the business layer? And where is the thinking and strategy at the IT layer? Then as you zoom into it, you get more tactical. And then third parties, people who are helping out, contractors, et cetera, et cetera. So keep that in mind. All right, the assignment for this week. Analyze the strategic role of enterprise architecture in digital transformation. Sounds a little buzzwordy, but you're going to explain what digital transformation is and why it's a focus for many organizations today in three different sectors: nonprofit, public government, and not-for-profit sectors. And then this digitizing of the enterprise. In other words, what has been sort of discrete little departmental IT projects and things and tools, and then building a workflow and a coherence to the IT side of things. Digital transformation can be one of those marketing buzzwords. You really have to tease out what the heck is going on. So, examples of the role. So, basically what you do is you take this assignment, and this is right from the module, look at all these areas in addition to the materials provided, and that could be that could be the Katusev book, all the other things that are in this module. Cite and include as a reference 5 other sources. You can cite Katusev in a number of places. Don't just be content with a quickie in Wikipedia. Digital transformation has been out there as a buzzword for 3 or 4 years now, and you're starting to read some people who are saying, this is a lot of talk, and maybe, we can boil this down to some real hard actions here. So 4 to 6 pages. Make sure that you're in the Turabian Chicago Manual Style Guide. And remember, my favorite saying, actually it's not my favorite, but the rubric is your friend. How do I do well in this assignment? And it's 100 points. Look on the left side. What is excellent in terms of content, clarity, grammar, and style? And so keep in mind that, when you're in that final proofing stage, check your paper to make sure you're touching all the bases here. All right, busy week, and have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye now.